Hi everyone, my name is Katerina and welcome to Bookspreading. This is my very first video and today I want to tell you how I ended up reading more than 1,000 books, where that number actually comes from, and what reading so many books did to me and what it didn't. So back in 2020, during lockdown, I decided to do something slightly crazy. I sat down and tried to remember every single book I had read in my life. It took me several days. In the end, I listed more than 800 books, maybe a bit more, and of course I didn't remember everything. I forgot many childhood books, I forgot some authors, some titles, fragments of stories, but if I could recall more than 800 books from my memory, I'm pretty sure the real number is over 1,000. Now it's 2026 and during the latest 4 years I also have read a lot. I started reading when I was 4 years old and I fell in love with the very first book I read. Since then, books have been one of my biggest passion in life. When my brother misbehaved, adults would tell him sit down and read a book. It was kinda his punishment, but for me it worked the opposite way. When I did something wrong, my mom would say no books. She literally hid them from me in different cupboards and wardrobes around the house. I kept finding them anyway and reading them secretly. Later I went to university and wrote my master's dissertation on 20th century English literature. So basically I'm a professional reader. The real question is, what did these 1,000 books actually did to me? First of all, they changed my level of empathy. Reading fiction lets you see the world through hundreds and thousands of different minds, through people of different cultures, ages, personalities, and even moral systems. Films and series can do this too, of course, but books can do something very special. You're not just watching a character, you're literally thinking their thoughts and feeling their emotions from inside. And that expands your perception of reality in a very deep way. Second, reading books have strengthened my ability to see cause and effect. It made my thinking more structured and more flexible at the same time. Third, apart from fiction, I also read a lot of non-fiction books about science, art, human brain, psychology, history, etc. And I'm convinced these books also changed a lot how I see the world. They expanded what I believe was possible. They showed me that the same problem can have many different solutions. This kind of thinking helped me at work, at understanding other people, and even in understanding myself, my real goals, my real motivations, and what I actually want from life. Another thing, and this is probably my favorite thing about books, each of us has just one life, one timeline, one set of choices, but books allow you to live thousands of lives inside this one life. For me, reading was always a way to explore the world. As a child, I dreamt about traveling, but I couldn't travel the time, so I traveled through books instead. And honestly, I still see reading and traveling as similar kinds of experience. They are both ways of exploring reality and hacking reality, because they both let you live many lives inside just one. If globally, you are the kind of person that feels like an explorer inside, the way I feel, books are for you as much as traveling. The next thing, and here I'll be careful but honest, reading can change your level of life. The quality of books you read can influence the way you think. You start noticing opportunities you simply wouldn't see before, because you have read so many stories and have experienced so many ways of thinking. And step by step, it can improve your life in very real ways. And finally, there is another unexpected benefit. Books can make communication easier and deeper. For example, many international readers absolutely love Dostoevsky or Tolstoy. My relationship with Tolstoy is complicated, but I've been in love with Dostoevsky since school time. So because of that, I can start a conversation with almost any reader from any country. Or if I meet a Japanese guy or girl, we can discuss Mishima or Murakami. So literature creates an instant intellectual connection between people that were total strangers a moment ago. Literature becomes an international language. That's something I really value. So, what did reading more than 1,000 books not give me? First, it didn't make me a speed reader. I don't read hundreds of pages per hour, and honestly, I don't think that matters. For me, what stays with you after finishing a book is much more important than how many books you finish in a year. Reading 50 books a year or 100 books a year is not a goal. The goal is what those books do to your mind. Second, reading so many books didn't make me some kind of genius or extraordinary girl. No, I'm just a simple girl from the north of Russia, living in Bali, being lucky living here. Someone who has loved books all her life and wants to share this love with other people. Actually, that's exactly why I've started a book club here on Bali. For almost 2 years, we've been meeting every 4 weeks to discuss one book we choose, in every time the conversation are intense in the best possible way. People disagree, agree, argue, see characters in totally different ways, challenge each other's ideas, and that makes reading so much alive. Also, I can see that because of the club, people start reading more, they want to read more, they start falling in love with reading, and creating this space makes me genuinely happy. Actually, in some way, this YouTube channel that I started today is something like this book club. Just now it's online and I can discuss books with more people from more places. And now I'm curious about you. Have you ever tried to count how many books you've read in your life? Do you feel reading has changed something for you? Do you want to read more? Tell me in the comments. I would really love to hear your story.